Welcome to This Explainer. We're jumping straight into something absolutely crucial today, the architecture of our emotional boundaries. To help us visualize this whole concept, we're going to follow a simple stick figure protagonist on a journey. And honestly, it's a journey every single one of us takes at some point, right? Learning how to build real, lasting personal trust, and ultimately figuring out how to protect our single most valuable asset, our heart. Okay, let's set the stakes right out of the gate. Think about what it actually means when you decide to open up your personal space to someone else. It's not just a casual handshake. Allowing true access to your heart is, without a doubt, one of the most vulnerable things a person can ever do. Why? Because you are literally handing over the keys to your entire internal world. Section 1, the vulnerability of access, what the heart truly holds. Actually, let's shift our perspective for a second. The heart isn't just a biological organ, and it's definitely not just a simple metaphor for feelings. We really need to view it as a sacred, delicate container. It holds all of these fragile, incredibly vital elements of who you are: your capacity for trust, your deepest memories, your attachments, your baseline sense of comfort and safety, and your hope for the future. It's the whole shebang. So when you grant someone access, you aren't just sharing your weekend plans. You're letting them walk into the deepest, most hidden, quiet rooms of your mind. We're talking about the spaces that hold the exact fears you normally just laugh off in public, the insecurities you so expertly hide behind a brave face, and those massive, fragile dreams you're genuinely terrified to even say out loud. That is exactly where we are most vulnerable. Moving on to Section 2, the cost of open doors, the intrusion. Psychologically speaking, letting someone into that space changes you at a foundational level. Your brain literally begins attaching deep meaning to another person's presence and their words. So who you allow in there matters immensely. Another person's energy and treatment can either beautifully nourish your heart, allowing it to thrive, or they can slowly, agonizingly exhaust it. And there is an actual physical cost to leaving those doors open. Depending on who you let inside, your nervous system learns a completely new baseline. Some people enter your life and teach your body peace. They leave you feeling grounded, standing tall. But others, they teach it anxiety. They leave you literally vibrating with stress and tension. It really boils down to this. Some people help your heart breathe easily. Others bring in so much chaos that your heart feels like it has to constantly play defense. I mean, imagine the sheer exhaustion of having to defend yourself from the inside out simply because you left the front door wide open to the wrong person. Section 3, guarded versus hardened. The pivot. Now understanding this next distinction is a real game changer. When we get hurt, our first instinct is usually to build a giant, impenetrable stone wall to hide behind. That's the hardened heart, declaring, "I will never trust again." But that just isolates us. The real goal when building personal trust is the guarded heart. Instead of a solid, heavy wall, think of it as installing a beautiful fence with a locked gate, saying, "I will love, but with wisdom." So, what is the key to that locked gate? It's discernment. Discernment is simply being wise about what you allow to live deeply inside of you. It's super fascinating because even ancient spiritual texts, like Proverbs, encourage guarding the heart, noting that everything in life flows from it. It doesn't mean you become cold or stop loving entirely. It means you learn to love with intense emotional awareness. We've got to remember why this distinction matters so incredibly much. Access to your heart is a privilege, plain and simple, and it must always come with deep, intentional care. People should not repeatedly wound what they keep asking to hold. If they want to hold your trust, they absolutely cannot keep dropping it. Section 4, the metrics of real trust, evaluating the T. Figuring out who gets the key comes down to a sequential formula. Sometimes, healing means recognizing you do not owe immediate emotional access to strangers just because they show you a little temporary attention. Real trust takes data. First, time reveals their true intentions. Second, consistency over that time reveals their character. And third, pressure, meaning how they handle conflict or stress, reveals their actual emotional maturity. We do this all the time, right? We mistake temporary chemistry for a solid foundation. But chemistry fades. Real, enduring connection requires these 5 steady pillars: safety, honesty, patience, accountability, and peace. If you're evaluating who gets a key to your gate, these have to be your non-negotiable requirements. Section 5, recognizing healthy emotional connection, protecting the asset. I really want you to take this in. Your emotional energy is a highly valuable asset, and it deserves rigorous protection. One of the absolute greatest forms of self respect any of us can learn is realizing just how precious our internal world is. Your heart was never meant to be a permanent residence for chaos. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your vulnerability, your energy, your softness, your personal healing process, or the deepest parts of your spirit. When the wrong things like manipulation, constant stress, and fear repeatedly enter that space, it distorts how you see yourself. It warps your identity. Guarding these things is basically essential for your survival. But when you practice good discernment, healthy connection can totally restore your balance. Unlike that anxiety we talked about earlier, allowing the right person access should feel like peace instead of confusion. It should feel like growth, not destruction. It needs to be rooted in honesty, safety, and healing, not leaving you in a continuous emotional survival mode. And this brings our whole journey full circle. Because the heart is delicate, even when people pretend it is strong. We all put on a brave face, don't we? We all project strength out into the world. But behind that fence, the heart remains beautifully delicate, and acknowledging that hidden fragility is the very first step in properly protecting it. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. Take a look at your own emotional boundaries. Look at the people currently standing inside your gates. Who currently has access to your heart? And based on how they treat it, do they truly deserve authority over your peace? Think about it. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.